to do a disclaimer on the beginning of some of these videos because most of what I say is absolute bollocks. But yeah, hey.
Maybe I'll snap that onto the start of the podcast.
Yeah, just snap it onto to the start. The beliefs of Dan aren't real, and he's psychotic. And
they're not of his employer.
Yeah, definitely not of my employer.
I enjoy the confrontation. It's entertainment. So that's why I get involved.
If you want confrontation, just get on buses without a mask. That's mate. You know you get on a bus sometimes, and you're like, we've got the bus is a 76 near us, and that bus stinks like something that's like some next level shit. You know, it's like you're smelling. It's like smells, and like this person doesn't actually just smell of like piss. They smell of like vinegary, acrid vagina. Like it's like never like something that's so thick. Yeah, no one cares about that. But you don't wear a mask on a bus. Fuck me, literally. It's like you've flown an ISIS flag into Gatwick. Like it's fucking.
Welcome back to episode 15 of Bash Bros podcast. This week we have the future of British bodybuilding, Marc Hector, IFBB pro, soon to make his debut. For those who don't know who Marc is, here is his Instagram page. Head over, give him a follow. So yeah, just a favour, Marc, give us a little rundown, bud. Usual script. Give us a rundown. What got you into it? What led you to this point, etc.
Yeah. So I started first competing in 2012. My first show was a beginner show with the UK BFF, and back then bodybuilding was quite a big thing. So going on stage, I think I competed against another 12 bodybuilders, and I won that show as a beginner. It was the UK BFF Stars of Tomorrow. From there, I then went on to do the UK Nationals, with UK BFF competing in a weight category. I won that show too, which qualified me for the Europeans and the Worlds in my first year of competing. I went to the Europeans and I came 8th out of about 12. And going to that show, I realised that you need to bring a different level of conditioning. I've never seen that before for me, competing. So that was an eye-opener, which was, I think it was a reality check I needed at that point, even though it's my first year of competing, because I realised what the levels were and what the standard was. I didn't compete at the UK BFF British Championships in 2013. I decided to hold off and compete in the Worlds instead. The people who came second and third to me at my very first show, they went to the British Championships, and the person who came second, he won, and the person who came third, he came second. So potentially I could have had a British Championship in 2013, but that wasn't on my radar at the time. I decided I was going to go to the Worlds. I went to the Worlds and I came dead last. There was probably around 24 competitors, and I was just completely out of the comfort zone. Better conditioning from the other athletes, better size, but I just wasn't ready at that point. But it was the experience that I needed in my journey to say, okay, right, I need to take some time out here and I need to come back better. So I had 2 years off from 2000.
Sorry, how old were you on your first year of competing that you just described?
I was 26. Started competing at 26.
And how long have you been training, like in the gym, until that point?
So I started in the gym, I started training at home first at 15, and then I went to the gym at 16. But my background before bodybuilding was athletics. I was a sprinter. Pretty good sprinter too. And I just enjoyed the fact that when I step on an athletics track, although you've got a team and a coach who support you, it's down to you. And that's what I like about bodybuilding too. You can have your coach who supports you, you can have your nutritionist, but when you step on stage, it's you. What you put in is what you get out. And that's what kind of led me towards the bodybuilding journey. So from 2013 to 15, I had 2 years off. Initially, I competed as under 90 kg bodybuilder. When I came back in 2015, I was competing at under 100 kg bodybuilder, weighing 97 kg. And I won my show, and I also got invites and qualifications to the Arnold Classic, the British Championships. I think it was a Diamond Cup at the time, and I think there was another show as well. So from 2015 November, there wasn't a show again for me until the Arnold Classics, which was around September time 2016, the Europeans. So I took that time off again to try and put on a bit more size, get a bit more quality to my physique. I went to the Arnold's and I competed. I should have competed up to 100 kg, but I was more focused on, okay, I'm weighing around 97, so I can actually cut down here and make up to under 95, because I used to have that class in the Europeans. I ended up being around 92 kg on stage, giving away too much size for my height, and I think I came about 8th in that. Didn't really get a look in. And then I went to the British Championships a few weeks later with the UK BFF, and I came 6th as a heavyweight. And initially, when I stepped on stage in 2016 going to the Arnold's, I had in my mind that this is going to be the year that I'm going to win my pro card, which a lot of people think, okay, yeah, definitely going to win my pro card. But when I went to the British, I knew when I got into the top 6 that this was probably the highest I'm going to place in this show, because I wasn't at my best, but it was enough to get me in the top 6 at that point. And I deserved to come 6th, in all honesty, because the other guys better conditioned and had a better package than me. But my first British, I was actually pleased with placing 6th. But I knew I needed to do better. So I took another 2 years off. And in that 2 years, I looked at my physique and I thought, okay, right, so I know what symmetry I've got, but I need more muscle in certain areas. So I need to bring up my legs. I need to bring up my chest. So then I put a plan in place. What am I going to do to make these improvements? So I took 2 years off, 2018. I came back and done the PCA Welsh, which you probably know about that show. I won the overall. I set a goal as that year I wasn't even going to compete, but one of my close friends, Haider, he was competing at that show. And he said, you know what, it'd be quite good if both of us, we're from the same area, we'd go down and do the show. So I thought, you know what, yeah, let's do this. So I did that show, and going into that show, my aim was, I don't just want to win my class, I want to win the overall. Because the level of where I want to be, if I can't win, no disrespect to the Federation of PCA, if I can't win an overall at PCA, how am I going to go and then win an overall at a IFBB show to get my pro card? So I won that show, PCA Welsh, and then I went on and done the Cumbria PCA show, which was, I think, 2 weeks after. I won that and I won the overall there. And then my final show was competed at the Two Bros Amateur Olympia, where I won my class and I won the pro card with clear scores with those. And I competed as a super heavyweight, and I only just made the weight class. So I weighed 103 kg. The cutoff point was 102 kg. But from what I learned back in 2015 and 16 is, don't focus on a weight. What my best is, whatever it is, that's how I'm going to compete. And that's the mentality now, what I had from 2018, and even now, whatever my best is on stage, whatever the weight, that's how I'm going to step on stage.
I mean, it's an illusion. If you nail it, 103 kg can look like 120.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It's like once you're there. How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, so not even like that short. I mean, some people as well just weigh more. Like Ryan weighs like 5,000 pounds, and like, no disrespect, he looks big, but he's a heavy guy. Like some people are like heavy, you know, just heavier. And if you're not heavier, you didn't look out of place in that show size-wise. You just carried it different. You got, you know, your connections are smaller and stuff like that. You still look very like muscular. You didn't look stringy or anything like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that weight on you. Wouldn't have guessed that weight.
Yeah.
It's an illusion. It's better to nail it. And you're right. That was a good plan. Good plan not to rinse yourself out coming flat.
Yeah, but that was, I needed the experience from 2016 to know that not to chase a weight. And I needed the experiences before from when I was beaten and when I focused too much on trying to get down to a weight to move forward to say, okay, right, if my best is 103 kg and the cut-off point is 102, there's no point in me trying to lose 2 kg to make a class. Just step on stage, whatever my weight is, whatever's best, step on. So that's the mentality I have now.
2 kilos of raw muscle is that's actually quite a lot. You think about that in chicken breast.
Yeah.
Like it's not small. It's not small. I could do with a few chicken fillets on my legs right now.
That's what I was going to say, Dan. So you competed in an under 90s class. Like that was your first, when you were in weight class, that was the first weight class you competed at. And now you're pushing over 100.
Yeah.
Did you find it quite easy to gain that weight? Because that's a hell of a lot of weight to be gaining in the sort of period of time that you have. Like, did that come quite naturally to you, or did you have to like force it on?
Food is a big factor. Before I even started competing, I probably used to eat like 2-3 meals a day. I still used to train, but when I did start to compete, I realised that I need to up my food intake. And from 2016 onwards, that's when I thought to myself, right, to be able to actually grow and to get to potential where I need to be, I need to eat more food. And since working with my current coach, Abdullah, this year has been the heaviest I've ever been, and that's because I've been eating more food. And it's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it takes me a long time, but it's what's needed to grow. And I'm not a big eater, so I could be sitting there eating a meal for over an hour. But if that's what it takes to grow, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, what's your highest calorie intake, or do you know, rough ballpark?
For this year, you're hitting 6,500, 7,000.
Okay, yeah, so a decent amount as well. It's like, I hate to eat as well. I fucking hate it. If I could just get a drip that like fed me chicken, like, but yeah, I've had to like blend chicken and tuna and stuff like that because my schedule doesn't allow me to sit down and out. But I'm just like you, and I have to like not look at my phone, not look at anything, just stare at the wall and just fucking get it done because otherwise it's not happening. But I suppose on the way down when you're cutting up, you know, it's kind of like good to not be a big eater. You know, you can kind of, I don't know about you, but I suffer a little bit later than a lot of the guys that put on weight earlier. Easier, sorry. Yeah.
So I'm actually going to cook now because I'm prepping for a show, and my food goes low, but it's kind of the different spectrum. So there's one point where you're thinking, I'm fed up of eating all this food. Then you get to a cut when it gets really low and you're like, I want more food. But this is the stages you have to go through in order to get to the level you need to be to step on stage at your best. So
basically, bodybuilding is about feeling shit.
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
You're not your best when you're actually feeling your worst.
Yeah. We look at everyone on stage like, oh my God, they must be so healthy. And like inside, they're like, I'm dying. I can't do this. What's your heaviest weight then? Because you just come off the cut. What did you?
I went up to 129 kg.
Cool. So that's like 285 or something.
And previously, before working with Abdullah, the heaviest I got up to was 118, 119.
I'm trying to think what that is in kilos.
So it's quite.
I mean, in pounds. In pounds.
We say 118.
How far out are you from the British now?
260.
That's 10 weeks today.
And what's your current body weight in kilos?
To be honest, again, I'm not really checking that. I'm not checking that because previously on preps, you wake up every morning like, what's my weight? And you get too fixated on a number. Yeah. And now instead, what I post, because I speak to my coach every day, we FaceTime, I show my current condition, and we look at how I'm looking, how my body's responding, and that's the way we're going at the moment. And I prefer that way because otherwise you start chasing a certain number.
Yeah.
You're looking to be considerably heavier than before, or you like in terms of like, so based on your photos, not on your weight, are you looking, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get a feeler as to what we're expecting to see.
I think I'm going to at least be, so when I last competed, it was 103. I think I'm at least going to be 10 kg up on that, which at least going to be 22 pounds.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's definitely at least going to be 22 pounds. And that's in condition as well.
Was there any areas you were focusing on more than others, or was it just overall size?
overall size, but I also knew when I won my pro card in 2018, one of the first questions I asked to the judges is, okay, moving into the pro league, where do you see that I need to make improvements? And they said to bring up my legs more, and also my back is wide, but bring up the fitness. So those are two areas what I've worked on. But again, with any physique, you've got to work on the whole package. So it's not I'm going to pay more attention to my back and my legs. Everything's got to grow at the same rate, in my opinion.
Do you do your own training, or does Abdullah sort of send it over to you? And
yeah, Abdullah's really good. So going out to Kuwait was really good. Although COVID hit and I was only out there for 6 weeks, it opened up my knowledge, different angles on how to execute certain exercises to bring up my body parts more. Where I'm living now, there's not one gym what's got everything. So sometimes I have to go to different gyms. When I get to the gym, I would FaceTime Abdullah and I'll show him what equipment's there, and he'll say, right, this is what our program is today. These are the exercises what you're doing. This is how many reps I want you to do. This is how I want you to execute this workout today. So that's really refreshing, knowing that it's not just I'm sending you a plan and that's it. I want to know what equipment's there and how we're going to hit these different angles. So I would send my check-in and it's like, okay, right, well, we need a little bit more here. So when you get to the gym, tell me what equipment you've got so I can see what angle we can get to bring up that body part. So that's really nice because I've never had that before.
That's amazing level of service. I'm sure that they know what you're going to become. I don't think everyone gets that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't think everyone gets that level. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
what's
your
your
time
go on, Dan.
Go on then. Well, talking about the time in Kuwait and stuff like that, did you like, can they say, oh, you go to Kuwait and you sleep there and someone comes and wakes you up and drops chicken in your mouth when you're breathing in the right direction and like, no, it happens. You just wake up and someone's jabbing tren under your nipples and then you're like, and then they like dry, is it like boot camp?
I don't know where this has come from at all, but it's not like that. So for me, even going out to Kuwait, so I've got 2 children. For me to go out to Kuwait, it was a big thing. When I actually won my pro card in 2018, there was a team who came over to Amateur Olympia, and one of the coaches had told Abdullah about me. And then me and Abdullah were speaking within a few days of winning my pro card. We discussed the opportunity to go out from 2018 after I won my pro card, but I was working with a coach at that time and the timing wasn't quite right for me. With having 2 children as well and being in a job, it just wasn't quite right. So we've always been in contact, and the opportunity came around again at the end of 2019. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it now. So I left my job because they couldn't hold my job, and I just took the biggest sacrifice you could probably say and just went for it. And whatever this story is with boot camp, I never experienced that. Why I went there is because I want to be the best version of me. So to be able to do that is eating, sleeping and training, no distractions. I'm not really a person who needs to be around a lot of people. So being out there was perfect for me. I'm quite reserved within myself, but I like to train and I want to be the best version. And I've seen that as, okay, so if you're a boxer, you're going to go to a specialized camp and you're going to work on your physique. And that's exactly what the opportunity was there for me. And it was perfect. I loved it. And to be honest, coming back from Kuwait after 6 weeks, I didn't want to be back because I had a taste for it. And getting that taste, I wanted more.
And how long were you planning? How long were you supposed to be there?
So the plan was 12 to 14 weeks. So I was out there initially on a bit of a bulk, and then I was working towards the British Grand Prix, which would have been May the 3rd. And then after that, we was looking at the New York Pro. And then COVID hit, as you know, and literally got the last plane back from Kuwait Friday the 13th. I thought it was going to be cancelled. I thought it was going to be stuck out there. But managed to get back into the country. And then it's like, okay, I'll continue prep here. But that got cut short too, just because of everything that was going on with shows being cancelled. But I don't regret the decision. I think it's the best thing what's still happened to me, going out there, getting that experience. And I think it's been a bit of a blessing having the time off during lockdown, because I've been able to make further improvements on my physique going into my pro debut.
And you've been able to support like yourself without a job and just concentrate on this now?
So I've been doing some online coaching. I did have some online coaching before, and also my girlfriend, who's a pro, we've been doing some coaching and doing some transformation challenges together, just to help with what I need to do to be able to support my family and also the direction that I'm moving in. I'm not going to go and say that I'm one of the top coaches out there with hundreds of clients, because I'm not, but I believe that the step that I made and the sacrifice that I made from leaving my job, that it will come around. And I'm blessed to have a good sponsor as well, who supports me in HD Muscle.
Decent plug. HD Muscle, check it out.
What did you do before you jumped in, going forward with the bodybuilding and that, Mark? What was your job?
My job, so I worked for a council, and I was an exercise referral specialist. So I used to coordinate exercise referral programs for the general population, and I used to oversee programs such as Heart Smart, so people with cardiac rehab problems as well. My background is sports science, so I studied at Loughborough University, and I've got personal training qualifications and stuff like that. But my background was helping the general public with specialist populations and exercise referral.
Awesome.
It wasn't a million miles away then.
No, it wasn't.
That's good. So British Grand Prix. Well, it's not the British Grand Prix, is it? It's the British. What's your expectations? It's a pro debut, so for most people, the bar's probably going to be a little bit lower than where you set it. So, what's your expectation of this show?
I'm going there to win.
Like that.
Is it true that top 3 get Olympia invites, or is that Alicante?
I'm not sure about the British Grand Prix. It could potentially be, but I've not heard that about the British Grand Prix.
I suppose it depends who's got enough qualification points at that stage. I guess, because I think it's Alicante that's putting top 3 in.
Yeah, I think I've seen Alicante across. I think it's most classes you've got the top 3 with qualifications.
I mate, it's got to happen. Got to do this, man. Get to the O.
Did when you heard about the top 3, did you ever consider doing that show as well?
I've got my eyes set on the British Grand Prix. If I'm ready before, then.
Heard it here first. Well, probably not, but you know.
Just gonna sneak under the radar.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know, you've always got your head like screwed on. You got a plan. You know, that's the plan. So, you know, and like something sparkly, like a top 3 to the Olympia, shouldn't waive your plan. You know, steer the ship. And
the thing is with me, even with it being a top 3, I think that's a fantastic opportunity for those competing. But I don't go there with the intention that I want to come third in the show to qualify for the Olympia. I don't want to, no disrespect to those who qualify in points. When I qualify, I want to qualify for winning the show. Because then I think that puts you in a better position when you're going into Olympia, knowing that, you know what, I'm one of the top tier guys. I'm not making up a number here, because that's not how I want to compete. So that's why when I've competed before and I've taken time off, I've taken that time off because I want to be the best version of me. If that means I have to delay that, then I'm willing to do that, because I don't want to make up a number on stage.
So what are you, 32 now?
33 last weekend.
So does that not put any, did you not feel like you need to sort of, because you were late to get in your pro card, do you feel like, is there any pressure on you to sort of, to get those wins under your belt, or are you just happy just to roll with the punches, you know?
Absolutely no pressure. I don't feel no pressure. I know what I want to achieve and how I'm feeling. I don't really feel like I'm against the clock. So I'm just going to do things my way, along with working with my coach, and take my time.
That's right.
Yeah, I think Mark looks like he's got a lot of fuel in the tank still.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even though he's a little bit older and stuff like that, than some of the guys. Hector could do 10 years by the looks of things.
Well, 22 pounds since his pro card says something.
Well, I mean, that can just fuck off, really. I'm trying not to think about that.
Fucking madness. I haven't done that in 11 years.
I think I was only born £10 under this weight. Yeah, that's just, madness. I think you've got, like, mate, I can't argue with any of the mentality of whatever. I think, like, all of it is just solid plans. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, my word means shit, but I think that's exactly how I would want to approach something. Steer the path, and the rewards will come. You know what I mean? Although probably if I get my pro card soon, which I'm planning on doing, I'm probably going to make up some numbers before I then wither away and die. Because I don't think I have the longevity that you probably have, even only being a few years your senior. Hitting up 300 plus pounds and stuff like that. Like,
he hasn't seen the things you have, Dan, has he? So
you would know, man. I was balls deep in Vietnam. You don't know about Agent Orange and fucking LA Muscle Pro Hormones.
Noratine heavyweight.
Noratine heavyweight.
Fuck my life. Right, so questions, lads. Anybody got questions to fire at Mark?
Oh, have I got to do it?
Yeah.
Have I got to do it? So how did it feel beating Neil Andrews?
I've never won an overall at a show, so winning the overall at that show, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Just going back on that, I've competed with Neil before at the 2016 British UKBFF, and I was in the top 6 and Neil wasn't. So I've competed against Neil before. So twice.
So I mean, it wasn't a surprise that he got beaten, but in Wales, and he's 907-time Welsh champion. So yeah, I just think maybe don't make Instagram posts about shows afterwards. I always say this to myself as well.
You dethroned the King of Wales. That's what it was.
Yeah. If the thing is, if you get beat, and if you're like me, you get beat quite a lot. Like usually at the time, you're like, well, fucking, you're a bit salty about it. But pretty much every time I've like looked back, I can at least see the angle of why it happened. I can see like, some of the things it's kind of apples and oranges. It's like, I think that maybe it's a preference thing, but I've never really like turned around and thought I was like robbed or not conceptually understood why I'd sometimes as well I've just got thrashed and I'm being like, well, that was sad. And
well, I've been beat before. Like I said, I've come dead last at a show, and I've never then gone on social media to say I should have placed better. Even when I came 6th at the British, in hindsight, I wanted to place higher, but I just wasn't good enough on the day. So there's only one way to make that decision better. If you think you should place better, go and work harder so the judges can't. So it's undeniable. So when you step off stage, even if you come second and you should have won, everyone can see it. And that's the way I approach each competition.
That's Dan's attitude. Go and lose.
He's singing off my same hymn sheet, this guy.
If it wasn't for social media, you wouldn't even know that I'm competing. Because when I competed in 2018 at the Welsh, I think only maybe like 5 people knew I was competing. Because especially when I get into prep, the deeper I get, the more quieter I get. I'm focused on what my goal is. I don't need to be giving you an update every single day or every single week, because a picture is just a picture on Instagram. Until you get on stage, you see the final package, that's when you're going to be judged. And that's how I like to approach each competition, what I go into. And that's why I like to quite go under the radar if that's possible, because I don't feel like I need to be in the spotlight. I don't need people talking about me, although it's nice, but I just want to focus on what my job is, and that's bringing my best to the stage.
You can talk when it's done. Talk when it's done.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. You've got nothing to reflect on when the process is happening. I mean, obviously, I'm not like on your level or of exposure or whatever, but yeah, if I get in prep, my Instagram's just not on. Like, because I don't give a fuck what anyone else is doing, like, generally. Like, especially on prep, because I'm not comparing myself to no fucker. I'm just coming in with what I can do. I can't do more than I can do. It doesn't exist. And there's no amount of likes on Instagram that's going to boost me into doing more than I'm already doing. I'm already fucking maxing out. I think that, like, how many times have you seen some pictures come in and like, fucking hell, this guy's coming in, yeah, fucking hell, oh my God, yeah. And he turns up on stage, like, who is this fat cunt? Who is this guy who's just turned up? Like, you know, you're like, oh, have you seen his Instagram pictures? Like, well, yeah, but at a show, you're not in your bathroom where you can adjust the light and stuff like that and then put a filter on it. It doesn't fucking exist. You're stand in your pants next to a guy. Like, so I completely get it. And the other thing I don't like about taking progress pictures is no sooner have you taken it than you're better. So it's already in the past. So I don't get like the updates. I understand some people get something from it, but mate, we're a bit older, man. We didn't grow up with this fucking Instagram shit. We like learned it. Like the guys now, they're growing up like with it. Do you know what I mean? Their childhood is like part of it. Like I learned like Instagram is this alien like add-on to like life, but the young guns, it's like they're already there. It's almost like they're born with it, like Skynet. It's about to go full Terminator.
Like Jack.
Yeah, like Jack. He's got 40,000 posts a second, just wearing his shorts.
From 17,000 followers.
Just having Parkinson's deadlifts.
Whoa, now,
Mate,
don't
just
start
talking
that.
about
Don't start on this. I've had enough of people.
Mate, is it a stiff
that
leg
phone, that phone
deadlift?
police, I've had it.
Is it a stiff leg deadlift if you're quivering so much that your leg's basically at a right angle flickering? Like you look like that cunt in Home Alone who gets electrocuted. Is it still stiff-legged? Is it still stiff-legged?
Only if you post it on Instagram.
Exactly. There you go. As long as you say it is.
It's only for the gram.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to dub over that video of Jack with the Home Alone thing,
Yeah.
then please feel free.
Did you send that video in to them?
No, but I
Well,
commented. I commented
used the
saying that I
exact
should have.
They used the exact same music that you did, didn't they?
Yeah, so I commented on the post saying that I wanted to dub it, and then I just sent it in our group privately because obviously that's not my style. And then the phone police posted it in their own version.
Shit, did you get ribbed more than me just ribbing?
Oh yeah, hundreds of
Oh
comments.
yeah. I've heard about it. What is this phone police? Who has made this phone police fucking Instagram?
Oh, it is actually a fake Instagram.
Some twig nonce, basically. That's who it is. So.
What's this guy's phone like?
Well, no one knows who he is, so
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a 60-year-old man just wanking into paper bags that he collects around his house, just like going in on people's form all the time.
But the irony is he's going in on some people whose form isn't actually that bad. And it's like he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, obviously not Jack, because Jack's terrible. But I mean, other people. Like.
We should come up with our own, an FBI or something.
I'm trying to catch Mark on like anything, but he's just such a nice guy. He's just not biting on fucking anything. I think basically Mark's a nicer guy than Joe Ballinger, and like I'd probably like change my name to Ballinger and call him my dad, like if he's like that nice. But Mark's like out-niced him like mad, too nice. So he either goes home and like strangles kittens or something. Or he
like mice and men or something.
Yeah, stroking them to death. That's another one. Get me more.
It's refreshing though, because like obviously you're a fairly quiet guy. You can see that, and you're reserved, but you're letting your performance do the talking. And we spoke about you last week on the podcast, and Dan did, about obviously your potential and stuff going forward. So I think it's just exciting for us, people who are watching from afar, to see what's going to unfold, and from what we can tell here is you're not shy of a bit of work. You're not, you're prepared to do what it takes. So yeah, it's nice to have a chat with you and catch up on it. But us as armchair fans as such, watching you live that life, it's just, it's exciting for British bodybuilding as well, to be fair.
I love British bodybuilding, and I love it when someone who has the potential clicks it in, because it's not as common. You see the guys and they come up and you're thinking, well, they do some juniors and you're like, yeah, and then they just flake away into nowhere because there's a point where your genetics will leave you,
I think I think what's important for me is when I did athletics, I was really good at athletics, sprinting, and I didn't put in the work what I could have to get to the level what I maybe should have. So when I started bodybuilding, I was determined that this isn't going to be another athletics. It's not going to be, he had a potential, but it didn't happen. And I think 2016 was a key point when I actually lost and came sixth at the British. That was the point what made me think, you know what, if you want this, you're going to have to put in even more work, because bodybuilding is progressing and other athletes are progressing. And if you want to get to that level, you're going to have to work even harder than them, because people talk about genetics. I've heard people say you've got amazing genetics, but that will only get you so far. But when you put both together, that's when you're going to see things unfold. And I've heard before, I don't really follow social media loads, I've heard people before saying he doesn't train hard enough or he's not willing to put in the work. But that's all right with me, because I don't mind people saying that, because I know what I'm doing, what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And hard work gets you places. Hard work will get you where you want to get to.
I think Jack needs to take a leaf out of your book and not bite and not bite the people's shit.
It doesn't phase me, but I just enjoy the argument. So I enjoy the confrontation. It's entertainment. So that's why I get involved.
If you want confrontation, just get on buses without a mask. That's mate. You know you get on a bus sometimes and you're like, we've got the bus is a 76 near us, and that bus stinks like something that's like some next level shit. You know, you sit in it, like you're smelling, it's like smells, and like this person doesn't actually just smell of like piss. They smell of like vinegary, acrid vagina. Like it's like never, like something that's so thick. Yeah, no one cares about that. But you don't wear a mask on a bus. Fuck me, literally. It's like you've flown an ISIS flag into Gatwick. Like it's fucking mate. People are flat out on that. So I'd like to see some home recordings of you if you want a confrontation. That's how you get one. You don't even need to cough or anything. Just fucking don't wear one. Watch
I'll do it and film it.
That would be perfect. I think what Mark said is the fucking one. Genetics only gets you so far, and when you put that together, and I've said this shit before, when you put that with hard work, that's where champions are made. There's no doubt. Do you know what I mean? And I think what Mark's done and the excelling is beyond what genetics can actually just birth to you, you know? And you see so many people, they fill out the bit that was easy. They forgot to work hard. They forgot to get better. They let the hype get the better of them. And I think Mark's not engaging enough to get the smoke blown up his arse that holds a lot of these motherfuckers back, you know? It's horrible to watch people, you know, and they come up and you just see them, they get too into themselves and then they're good enough and then they're happy. You can't really be happy if you want to progress. You need to be hungry for that next shit. I think Mark's got the mentality fucking dialed in, man.
And that's what's going to help to take you to the next level, is the continuous, like, I want more. So you can't be satisfied with what you achieve. You've got to keep wanting more. If I'd have competed, made a third before COVID, I can guarantee I wouldn't look as good as what I'm looking now, stepping on stage. So it's what you do with the time you've got. So the actual time what I had during lockdown, it's been a blessing. And because the whole COVID and Instagram and things were shut down, kind of, I could just get on with what I needed to get on with, and that was perfect. And that was what I like about my journey, my bodybuilding journey. I don't need to be putting every single thing up.
Yeah. I mean, apart from as well, they see the people are posting like the most. It's like people don't give a fuck. Like how long is a view of an Instagram post? Like blip. But people really think, I'd just like to come on here and tell you guys, fuck off, no one cares. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to tell me? I really love my new beetroot ketones. Fuck off, man. But I've just come on here. Sorry I've been away for a while. Oh, don't worry about it, mate. Come on and fucking know who you are, you dull cunt.
Are you watching Jack's stories of it?
Do you do that, Jack? Do you say, I just thought I'd come on here? Do you actually say that?
Yes, he does.
Nah!
He does.
No.
I swear there's one on there now.
Dan,
Mate.
who does say that?
Mate,
I
loads of
know
people
who Dan's talking about.
No, to be fair, I get my biggest rages because Alice goes through and she's got like all of like the females on it. Fuck me, there's some deluded wenches on there. You know, like, oh, sorry, I haven't posted for no one cares, man. Like, even if you like it, like I like shit. I don't even look at it. I'm like, yeah, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go on my Instagram, John.
Oh, come on, let's have a look.
Look at all these dots.
Oh, wait.
Not many.
Oh, look. It's the same breakfast you posted every day since forever. Oh, yeah.
Wait there.
I'd just like to come on here. Sorry, I haven't been here for a while. I've got my hair done, made a Kit Kat out of
Not a bad looking barnet though. That's
well, it was
right.
the whey protein. Just want to come back on here, come and post it for a while, and just hashtag blessed. And we can have a whole segment of Dan dubs over Jack's incredibly boring calf photos. Look at that face on the plate. What a legend. Oh, yeah, there's the money shot.
There's the light in, though.
To be fair, he's natty. His legs are pretty good. I've got to give him that.
Hey, the quads are fucking coming.
All right, Johnny, we've seen it once.
He's got some good quads. Seeing as he only takes the soybean extract.
And the creatine.
Yeah, the creatine.
Creatine is basically steroids, though.
Yeah, that's it. Flush it down the toilet.
Mark, we've brandished you the nice guy, but I want to know. So, obviously, your girlfriend's very popular on social media, and for a period of time, like it wasn't out there that you were together. Did you ever have to have a quiet word with someone who slid in her DMs at all?
I don't know what you're referring to.
If anyone ever tried to sort of weasel in, do you ever have to sort of stamp it down at all?
I don't think I'll need to do that.
Good answer.
Definitely not now.
Ellis is shouting at me because Alice used to get messages and she'd be like, look at this guy, he's like messaging me. So I'd pretend to be her and then just say like I'm into like some really weird shit. I used to send like, so I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I'd like pretend that I'm like, oh, I just really like cats, and then send them pictures of like 40 cats that I like found, and then like watch this guy like go, oh yeah, no, I love cats, yeah, that's great, like, but can we go out? And it's like, well, the thing is I've got this ill cat and stuff. Like, see how long I could like draw them out for. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but you know, you can get their IP address quite easily. Just turn up at their house and then bum them. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm not known as bodybuilding's nice guy, Mark. Sorry. You're here to offset my cuntness.
So Mark gave the nice answer, and then that's the McNabb
Mark's just
answer.
such a nice guy. I really want to like invite him round for like tea and stuff.
I don't know after you said about the cat story now.
You can go with one, Mark. You can go with one, mate.
You should have been something, Mark.
You should be part of our WhatsApp group. Then you definitely wouldn't want to.
Yeah, no, you definitely shouldn't be part of the WhatsApp group.
You'd leave. You would leave.
You should definitely leave.
No, but I get where Jack's coming from. There's a lot of thirsty people out there, and obviously your missus has got a very wide following. I was with, as part of CMP, I was actually working with your missus on the Body Power store. And she was probably one of the main attractions there, you know, people just forever asking her for photos and questions. So I can see where he's coming from, in all fairness. But I mean, I suppose that comes down to you then having a solid relationship and it doesn't really faze you. And that's the best way to be, otherwise you'd be fucked.
That's exactly that. I'm not a controlling person and I wouldn't want to be controlled either. So we've got that mutual respect and mutual understanding that something like that's not going to faze us. We know where we want to go as individuals, but also together. And what you said, Jack, I don't need to be a kind of person looking at phones to see who's messaging, and likewise, because we're good.
It is impossible to phase him.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get anything. I wanted to be like, well, I was just in Sainsbury's and I saw this guy and I fucking gouged his eyes out and ate them. But that's why I went quiet on social media, because I was in a detention centre. But no, nothing. It was a nice try though, Jack.
Teasing him.
It was a nice try. At the end of the day, if you've got a girlfriend that's into fitness, most of her pictures are going to be where she's not wearing a lot of clothes, and she's going to get attention in the wrong way. The thing that I've spoken about a lot, like when we had Wendy on and stuff like that, is that some people misinterpret the presentation of a strong female physique and think it's designed to be sexualized, and it's not. Like that's what's wrong with female competitive bodybuilding in every aspect. And Wendy spoke about it as well. It's like people from the outside think it's like there to appease someone, to like please someone. You know, you'll always get like Alice gets messages on a thing being like, oh, you're manly, or what, you're disgusting. And like, it's like the idea of bodybuilding, we spoke about it as well with Derek last week, is that presenting a physique on stage is to the people that understand. You're showing the finished product of thousands of hours of hard work, and the people that understand what that is, and that's for both male and female athletes, that's the respect and what you get through that is understanding what it's there for. And the outside people, you know, think that it's there for to be sexualized, and it's not. And that's exactly what we need to move away from in female physiques. Do you know? I mean, obviously, you know, it's not, they look nice, they look great and something, but something can be beautiful without being sexualized. Like,
I agree, and I don't think it's just from a female point of view.
Oh.
I could post a normal gym picture in a t-shirt and some shorts. Won't really get that great interaction. If I post like an update in some trunks or something, I get all sorts of messages, and it's not just females, it's males. And like,
yeah.
I don't post, or I don't train for you to be looking at my physique, lusting over my physique. I'm training because I want to compete on stage and present a physique on stage. It doesn't go beyond that. But I think there's a misconception there that it's got to be something more when it's not.
You don't accept the offer to wrestle with those men then?
Muscle worshipping, wrestling, nah, just.
I mean, even I've had messages like that, and
fucking hell, they must have been desperate.
I know, exactly. So they've
hell.
obviously messaged Hector, and that's been like, no. They were like, God, who's the ugliest bodybuilder I can find? Oh, this one looks like a stamped cabbage. I reckon he's probably up for it. But yeah, like mad stuff.
I bet you play along as well.
What's the
I do like.
You've got to have.
I did play along with this guy for a while because what he was asking
Look at Mark's face.
was like, so what he asked for was like so mental. He went in, he was like, how many ribs do you reckon you could break if you squeezed me? And I was like, okay, this is fucking weird. So then I was like, well, I don't know, how do I get paid, like per rib or whatever, like, you know? And he was like, yeah, I'll pay you like $500 per. I don't know why. He obviously wasn't talking. I'm going to give it an American accent. He's like $500 per rib and stuff like this. And then anyway, so then it got on to like, and I was like, okay. And he was like, what I really want someone to do is crack my skull. And I was like, but you'll die. That's where you die. He's like, it's okay. I've got like a disclaimer, and you can like sign. I was like, I'm pretty sure. Like, anyway, so at this point I went and trained, and then I gave my phone to the woman who works on reception, who then carried on this thing to find out like just how completely insane this guy was. And he was like, yeah, he'd like paid Dorman to turn up and punch his face in so that he could like have a wank and stuff. And like, I mean, on the plus side, there's something for everyone, you know, and that's nice to know that, you know, there's love out there for all different types of people.
What's the weirdest one you've had, Mark?
I don't know about weird ones. Get your people who wants to buy your trunks. I've had loads of messages about buying trunks. People who ask me if I want a personalised sponsorship where I don't need to advertise it and they'll sponsor me through my career. Asking if I do OnlyFans and all that stuff. And
I've all wondered what this sponsorship. I've always been intrigued. What does the sponsorship? Hey, do you take sponsorship? Yeah, just send me loads of money and nothing. Like, surely that's not real. They just send you money for. I mean, does that? Surely they're like, okay, I send you a bit of money and then you send me the penis pictures. Like, this is like, where's the payoff? So
as long as the money comes first, it doesn't really matter, does it? So.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been trying to like get Ellis to do OnlyFans page because I'm, after COVID, it's been a bit, it's been tough on money, and I thought, do you know what I mean? I haven't got any kids that I can sell for organs or anything, so I thought, well, quick money, just sell Ellis's biff online. But she's not into it. So maybe when she's older and looked at, her face is a bit fucked or whatever, we can cash in. But for now, just gonna have to go to work. That's right, Mark. I am a lecturer. That's my job.
Inspiring the nation.
I'm inspiring the nation through music, but it's creative. So I think like creativity is like close to being mental. So like it's okay.
Yeah, but it's diverse. So like employers these days, they can't be seen to.
MC Tricky. MC Tricky. Anyone know Tricky? No, he was quite big, and he was like associated with Massive Attack and stuff. Should have heard of Massive Attack.
Yeah.
Band. He used to just walk around like Noel West in a dress, and then anyone who said anything just beat the shit out of him.
I could see that. I could see you doing that.
That's quite eclectic. I look amazing in a dress, by the way. So,
good Mark. What the fuck have I let myself in?
I've got my stag do. Mark's definitely thinking I'm oversharing. I think I do need to do a disclaimer on the beginning of some of these videos because most of what I say is absolute bollocks. But yeah, hey.
Maybe I'll snap that onto the start of the podcast.
Yeah, just snap it onto to the start. The beliefs of Dan aren't real, and he's psychotic. And
they're not of his employer.
Yeah, definitely not of my employer. Well, the thing, I do love my job. I really do love being a teacher, and I don't talk like this in my lessons. I don't say fuck or bugger, and we make really, it's really great to make changes in young people's lives through music that thought that they weren't good at anything, because that's exactly what happened to me when I was younger. I didn't think I was good at anything, and I went to music college, and it saved me and changed my life. Although I had to have my tag on when I went to college, and sometimes it beeped, which was a bit embarrassing. Like, it changed my life, and I always wanted to repeat that and do that for someone else because I think it saved me. So that's, so I do love my job, and I do like doing that for like young people. I think being a young person is an incredibly confusing time, trying to find who you are, what you're good at, and things like that. And I think I do that, with some training and stuff like that. I help a few young guys out at the gym and stuff. But youth is hard, and I think it's even harder now with the pressures.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I turned up and you told me to fuck off.
Yeah, but I knew you, and you're a fucking waste man. So, and you're Welsh, so you're not welcome over here.
Fuck.
You're outnumbered, do you mind, Dan, with the Welsh one?
Yeah, you are, man.
Yeah, well, you can all fuck off. Yeah, so I do love my job, so I'd hate to lose my job. And if there was anything that came up about the job, I'd have to just not do the podcast. I'm annoyed that no one knew who Salad Fingers was or Devo. No one knew who Devo was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know him.
You know who Devo was?
Yeah.
So Devo, who did like, you're right, mate, I got £1 for a boss, and was on TV and did like all this sketch shows. Mark's still looking at me like, this guy's fucking lost it. And like,
I'm going to have to eat my meal soon.
Yeah, we're going to have to let him go.
And Devo became a teacher like later, like completely changed all of his, like, looked completely different. Someone found out that he was Devo, and then he got fired, never worked again. That was it. So that would be sad. So if parents are watching, I'm really sorry.
So should we let Mark get off? We can carry on talking bullshit. He needs to get off. And
Mark needs to give us 5 things.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Oh,
so
yeah,
Mark,
yeah.
everyone that it's not like posing trunks. Everyone that we've had on, we've asked like 212 Olympia and like loads of people, just like 5 bits of advice for someone who's watching. It could be like a beginner or someone who's like starting, or it doesn't have to be bodybuilding related. Just 5 tips that maybe you could have told yourself when you were younger, or just anything. The podcast initially was started with mental health in mind. And so anything that you found that helped you, and it doesn't have to be bodybuilding related. It's something that we've asked everyone.
That's quite ironic, that, because my background in exercise as well is exercise for mental health. I did used to do some work where I had my own business where I used to go into disability groups and do different sessions with people who were cerebral palsy, work with the elderly and stuff like that. So you saying that is quite a big thing. And I think with anyone, mental health is it's out there. And to be able to support them, and that's why I think exercise is a great way to try and move away from the conventional use of like antidepressants and use that as a channel to actually get the endorphins going and feeling good. So my 5 things is to believe in yourself. If you are on a journey, whether it's as an athlete or lifestyle, is to concentrate on you. So don't look at what other people are doing. Focus on what your journey is. Reach out to people. Reach out if you're a beginner or you're advanced. At some point, you're probably going to need some kind of support. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I've got another 2 points. I'm trying to think what those are because you put me on the spot. Don't believe everything you see on social media. Don't believe everything you see on social media. And the 5th one, I would say, is set goals. Set goals and reflect on those, whether they're short, medium and long term. Set your goals, set a plan. If they need to be adjusted, adjust them, but set your goals and work towards something. So something what I would do is almost like have a bit of a vision board. So this is where I want to be long term. So I need to make smaller steps to be able to get to that bigger goal. And that doesn't have to be sport related. That could just be in life in general.
They're big. It's quite interesting because although we seem like completely polar opposite people, how I got into teaching was exactly that, with mental disability and Asperger's and stuff like that, through music. And you did it through fitness. Yeah. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, guys. Don't skin
cats again, Dan.
He's a cat.
I really love cats. I just like dogs more.
Sorry. On that bombshell, we'll let Mark go because I know he's itching for his meal. So thank you for coming on, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good luck for a couple of weeks, bud.
Yeah, good luck, bud.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Easy.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry, Els, are you going to cook the thing? Thanks.
That's
going to cook the thing. She said she was going to cook it an hour ago, but she didn't. I think Mark's the only person that we've had on the podcast that's actually made me feel embarrassed to be me.
What?
What?
Because he's such a nice guy and I'm such a cunt that he's just...
We all like you as a cunt.
Yeah, you're our cunt.
You're our cunt. But what a nice guy. He didn't have anything. Didn't bite on anything.
I tried to rattle him.
I know, he didn't. Probably just came up with just truths and facts and normal stuff. How degrading for me.
You were good, bud. You were good.
I don't have anything even remotely bad to say about the guy. What a nice guy.
No. Definitely.
And I mean, I was rooting for him anyway. I'm probably rooting for him even more after kind of meeting him in this short way. I think his head is completely screwed on the right way. I think his mentality is exactly how I visualized everything. He's got it nailed, and he has got the genetics, whether he'd believe it or not. He's got incredible genetics, and even though he started late, he could do 10 years on those genetics. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's just that conception that you talk about in terms of his happiness not being dependent on other people. He's got that down to an art, but it seems anyway.
I think that's the other thing that we get as being a slightly older is, like I said, I kind of said to him, we grew up and then had social media.
Yeah.
So it's not part of our psyche.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's like something that came and then we added into our lives. Whereas people in their 20s and stuff like that, are viewing this, you know, it's part of life. It's, you have your life, and then you have sharing bits of your life that you fucking shouldn't on social media. It's fucking nuts. I tell you the scariest thing, this isn't bodybuilding related at all. So everyone talks about TikTok, right? Like everyone's like, yeah, TikTok, whatever. So I thought, well, I'll look at TikTok, maybe it's funny. I mean, very quickly it learned that I really like dogs, so it showed me loads of really sad videos about dogs with like no legs and them being saved. I spent most of the time like crying. It was horrible. But then I was looking at it, and then there's this thing called like Live. Yeah, so I was like, well, Live,
Right.
I don't know what it is. I'll click on Live. No word of a lie, that is a fucking, I think it should be banned, because Live is basically like I scanned through like loads looking for something that was like relevant or interesting. It's basically all like 12-year-old girls dolled up to the fucking nines with that song by Cardi B talking about wet pussies in the background. Just like it was disgusting. I was like, I was genuinely shocked. I mean, I don't know if there's any parents watching that haven't looked into, like, I've like messaged like my sister and like and my goddaughter's mother, and was like, mate, have you seen this? It's fucking insane. Like, it's like, even just the fact you're looking through something live and you're in someone else's bedroom is like fucking, like, it's too much. And
anyone can view
we
it as
need
well.
that like anti-normalized.
Yeah,
we need that, like, we need to be shocked by that. I know it's not relevant or something, but it was the most shocking thing. I was like, and if that's like normal and cool, I think the parents, they're like, oh, well, you know, Sandra or whatever is just in her room. That's fine. She's fucked off. So she's not like hassling me. I don't have to do anything. I can just smoke 90 Bensons and drink myself to death. like, which is, you know, a great idea as a parent. But you know, if, mate, fucking ban your kids from using TikTok. It is fucking weird. And
it is getting banned anyway.
And I was looking at the messages, like, and it's like, oh, you're beautiful and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, so I'm on like a pedo hunt right now, yeah? So like, I'm just like clicking on some of the ones that are like saying stuff, and it's like fake accounts or blank accounts and stuff. It's just, the whole thing was just, I was shocked. Like, absolutely shocked. Yeah. Is it getting banned? TikTok's getting banned?
Yeah, it's already banned in the States. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah, and then it's getting banned over here as well.
Yeah. Oh, it is happening over here as well, is it?
Good.
You know what? I think it's in America.
Good. It was like, it's fucking, there's too much. I mean, that's not bodybuilding related. You should probably cut that out. So we got no fucking Ryan, because I've got a little cough. I didn't eat a carb. I haven't eaten a carb. I just woken up. Nah, you didn't fucking say it anyway.
No, he's swerved us off for his IFBB misses.
Of course he fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to make it. I'm too busy worshipping the perfectly clipped vagina.
Hose before Bash Bros.
Mate, it's hose before Bash Bros. I know it's fucking gay. He tried to do this before. I can't remember what was the other time when he tried to do it. No, it was you, Johnny. You did it last time.
No.
Yeah, and then God struck you down with appendicitis.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow, Ryan's gonna be fucked tomorrow.
You tried to swerve us for the Gaudem, and then God went, nah, mate, you ain't going Hotel Divan in Bristol. You're going to hospital, bitch.
It's bad that you remembered.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So God was like, so Ryan, mate, I think you made the wrong decision, because God watches Bash Bros podcasts and he needs top bants. I don't need you fucking around with the vagina people. You do that in your own time. This is.
Well, last week people complained that he was sniffling down the microphone all episode.
I didn't hear it at the time.
No, not me. I did
watch a little bit back, and he was like, he wasn't even on the camera. He was like over like here in some like mezzanine.
Doing this. He was doing this.
Yeah. You're just checking all his Instagram. My favorite as well is when you'll ask a question, and then like the guy like say in real detail, and then he'll be like. Yeah, so and it's like no, we did the whole thing. Explained all of that. He's done all of that.
We just spoke about an hour ago, right?
I've got this supplement, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you believe?
Whether you've heard of Lucozade?
Oh, Lucozade, yeah.
Yeah. The worst one is when our guest is like talking. He's clearly not listening, and then he'll be there. We're going.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean.
So if people are still watching this, right, we all see what you're seeing. It's all good.
I think we're gonna have to cut a bit of this out.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Fuck that, don't cut that out.
Going
Just
back to
about the bit about TikTok. But I do feel like genuinely like a bit of my soul died. Hector's too nice. There's got to be something wrong with him. He's got to have like, I don't know, people buried in his back garden.
Yeah, there's got to be a dark past.
He didn't bite on anything. He's just there, just loving training. He's like the Arnie. He's like Arnie, just in the sun, just doing the reps, just like and like he's just like, yeah. And I'm just here, like I'm getting angry, like about anything. Like if the dog like farts in the wrong direction, I'm like, ah.
The thing is, though, like the level he's on at the moment, you know, I mean, considering he's 10 weeks out, he's probably like switched now, and do you know what I mean? It's fucking game time for him now, so it's probably just like,
he's got the tunnel vision on.
Yeah, there's that in front of him.
Oh,
yeah.
What is
that? Look at that, like.
Oh.
There you go. Hashtag blessed.
Good steak as well.
I blend my steaks, I blend my chicken.
She might, you know.
Look at him, Jack.
He's got it with our dente asparagus tips as well.
You can piss it tonight, boy.
Yeah, so she might get 900 dick pics a second, but
she doesn't cook steak for anyone else.
Well, she better not, because she can do anything else. She can sell her used underwear. She can't cook anyone else steak.
This is bodybuilding related. One of them. I forgot to bring the question in. Are we still having this on?
Yeah.
Still recording. Red button still on.
Oh yeah. So Sean, I can't even pronounce his name on his Instagram.
Just Sean.
He's asking a general question about, he's just started a cycle now, and he's, again, it's a back acne, but I pretty much said that I think it's a case of him having his first cycle, that it is the causes of, you know, having some new testosterone in the system and sort of things are changing, but it's not really a permanent, you know, thing. So what's your boy's thoughts? Because it
can be permanent.
It can be permanent, can't it? But I mean, for me, when I started cycle, I did have back acne for a while, and then I've had nothing ever since.
I've seen people.
I just grow them away.
I've seen people at the gym that at our gym. Well, not people. I saw one guy who, like, you know, shouldn't have ever really just done a cycle anyway. He showed me his back afterwards, and it was like purple scarring. Like, it was really, really bad. So you need to watch out for it, because if it scars, you can get that like dimpled skin like forever. And it was, you know, I'm not being mean or anything, but it was fucking disgusting. It was like,
yeah, I know why it happened all across his chest.
Yeah, see, I've seen that a little bit here, and obviously that can happen anyway, you know, in normal life. The thing that I've get something you can't get to your back. So I use like a gnat, like for my skin, for exfoliating. Yeah, big pale nasty exfoliates. Fuck yourself. Yeah. So I have like a brush.
Ask for your money back.
Like natural.
He's had him.
But yeah, just get in there. Get some salt scrub on your scrubber thing and try and do it. But yeah, don't.
So here's my two cents, right? People suffer with different side effects from different compounds, from different everything, right? So if you're predetermined to get an acne, certain compounds will accentuate that. So you have to be careful in your selection of a compound for what your goals are. But then others do not, and they will never suffer with it. So it's essentially a case of, unfortunately, trial and error, and having the common sense to understand that if it's that severe, not to use it and not keep prevailing with it, because it's not as simple as just keep going with it and hope for the best, because you're going to end up in a bad place.
Yeah. Also like dose related as well. Like
I did mention that.
Is it a slightly higher dose? Because like Johnny said, everyone responds to things differently, and certain dosages will set it off. So potentially work the dosage down, see if he still is getting the acne from it. But yeah, like Johnny said, it might just be what he's using.
Yeah, that's it. I did mention about, obviously, if you watch the Dr. Dean obviously podcast, they explain about finding your route in what is working for you, you know, what is more appropriate to what your levels are, and this, that, and the other. So I did mention that to him, which he did watch.
He also said about was it therapeutic versus toxicity or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, if your body's responding, you know, that way and treating it, you know, and there's a toxic effect, you know, is it worth, you know, you have to play that game. I mean, with everything, what goes up must come down, and if the down's harder than the up, then it's not worth doing, is it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So certain people as well will suffer with either multiple sides, maybe one side or no sides. What I would be inclined to say is that if he's suffering with those sides on a relatively small first cycle, then he's probably inclined to get others along the way. So he needs to just be mindful of that. Touch wood, I don't get any. I don't suffer with any gyno. Don't suffer with any sort of adverse in those aspects. I've never really pushed the envelope. And also then, you know, there's little things he can do if he's willing to, if he's tried it and he's not, you know, certain ones are slightly better, then he can do things like sunbeds. You know, sort of like Dan said, having a good skin regime. There's little things. Yeah.
Turn your mic off.
No, I like listening to him scoff.
Sorry, mate.
it makes me hungry for my next meal, so it's all good.
Reminds me of the guy off Men in Black, the alien who's drinking salt.
Oh, I thought the guy on the first one, is it? Sugar, water.
Yeah, that's the one, no.
I know, it is that one.
Yeah.
Pulls his face back, is that better?
His face wouldn't look like a ball back then.
That's prep face, that is.
Right, so for anyone who's still watching this, right, which I doubt there's many people, we're thinking about doing a UK tour. I think it's fairly prevalent that it's only S4 on because obviously Ryan wouldn't be applicable for this. So if there is anyone who knows someone, I doubt any big sponsors are watching right now, that's for fucking sure. So if anyone knows someone who'll be willing to sort of sponsor a sort of UK tour that's going to be recorded along the way, maybe sort of out of a camper van, or we'll do it on a sort of, you know, Airbnb basis or something like that. God knows how.
My vision is shoestring budget, camper van, shit conditions, going and finding gyms, breaking down, having arguments, eating tuna.
Yeah, but what happens if you eat all the games and then nobody's left with any?
Obviously, I am going to do that. Think of it as like Bear Grylls survival techniques for the bodybuilder. That's what I'm doing.
Like very little videoing of the training, mostly videoing of us being absolute assholes.
No one wants to see video of training anymore.
But we're bumming each other in the back of the van, and
we've already seen that.
Yeah, I speak for yourself, Batty. Right?
Brokeback Mountain #2.
There's a market. That'll get a sponsorship in, I tell you.
Here's something that we haven't spoken about.
What if you had a group OnlyFans?
Go on, sorry.
Well,
go on, Dan.
Listen, yeah.
Go on.
There's one person on the YouTube who's disliking the video.
Yes.
One.
Who are you?
One person.
We got to out him.
All right? Whoever you are,
Just
eat
mention
a
us.
fucking French dick.
If he's unliking the video, he's not going to get to an hour and a half into this, is
I
he?
bet you he does. These people do. They watch it. Yeah. I bet he like watches it, sprinkles some like drugs on his penis so it's numb, and then has like a really horrible, unfulfilling wank over it. Like, I hate them. Watches the whole thing every time. And I bet he goes and like goes outside and like burns wood lice with a lighter or something. Cunt.
And then goes for a pint with the phone police.
Yeah.
It might be him.
Maybe it's him. and
Maybe
it's
it
all
is
about
him.
you.
He seems to have a lot of hate.
All I'm saying is I'm reaching out to the general public. Well, not the general public, because no one watches this fucking thing. But people that are watching this, if you know who it is, yeah, it's okay to tell. All right?
We'll keep it anonymous.
Yeah, we'll keep it anonymous. Okay? And if you tell, you get a t-shirt.
That was coming.
I'm the rat.
You get a pair of trunks from each of us.
Get a t-shirt, a pair of my used trunks,
My tanning sock.
my wanking sock, a tanning sock. Yeah, tanning sock.
Tanning sock.
And a free leg session with BPN. How about that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
Obviously,
deal.
like, no one actually wants to do that anyway. But,
I do.
I would win all that.
well, you're welcome anytime. Jack's
Wanna
not
win
a
it all.
cunt. Jack came to the gym and didn't even ask to train with me once. Came
No,
to
I
my
didn't
house.
feel like I was welcomed.
Came to my house. That's just how I am, Jack. I love you. I told you already.
I trained at the same gym as him for about a year and a half, and we never trained together.
What,
That's
Jack?
because because I don't have 4 hours to spend in the gym.
That's true. I don't have
I
that.
PB'd on 5 yesterday. No, Friday.
5 hours?
Yeah.
That's not a PB.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, is it? Because it's not a good thing.
Well, I know it's not a good thing, but
It'd be a PW or something.
He PB'd from the 4 hours. 5 hours.
Jack, do you do your own like training and stuff like that? Yeah, stop. It's shit. Yeah. No, motherfucker. You're just digging a huge central nervous system hole into your vagina that you'll never get out of. You haven't even taken loads of drugs, which means your recovery is shit anyway. No one needs to be there 5 hours. What are you doing? What's in your intra-workout? Like fucking stem cells? Like, how the fuck
we figured they don't work, so.
That's true. Guy Cisterini said it didn't work. All right, blended babies. What is in it keeping you for 5 hours? I ain't got 5 hours of fucking anything in me. I can't even sleep for 5 hours.
But the thing
How
is,
are you doing
he barely takes a rest day as well. So it's like fucking, he's probably training fucking 30 hours a week.
That is...
Joking about it.
You're going to kill Dan.
I'm so upset about it. I train for about 3.5 hours a week, I reckon. I'm not saying that that's the right way for anyone, but what are you doing in there, Jack? I mean, I know you have to, get over your tremors.
yeah, a lot. 2 hours of that will be spent tremoring. So
2 hours of tremoring, then you've got to do that weird like go-go dance where you're like dun 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 dun.
It's a lot of time spent.
Then obviously there's like crying and like all that sort of stuff.
And an hour of photographs, obviously.
An hour of Instagram photos.
So, well, a lot of the time for that 5 hours the other day was spent because I set my phone down to record on my sets. And a woman proceeded to walk in front of the camera and dance in front of the camera because she knew was there.
Good. Who is she? I love her.
So I called her an effing C word, dropped the bar, and walked into the other room for 15 minutes to cool down because I didn't want to lose the head.
I think this might be why you're not getting laid.
I wouldn't touch her, mate. Wouldn't touch her.
Comes a time in a man's life where you just got to put it in.
For a pig.
Nah, because it would be her putting it in me.
Mate,
All right.
that's enough in me. Come on, man. Beggars can't be choosers. Look what happened to Oliver Twist. He wanted some more. That didn't go down well. Not at all. Didn't go down well at all. All right, you just get what you're given, little man. Okay, that could have been it. I personally rate this woman, and I think that she should comment below. We should find out who this woman is, and we should get her on.
No, but she seems like the sort of person who's dancing on TikTok too, man.
Sack her off. I'll take it all back.
Donnie, you probably know who she is, actually.
Okay.
I'm not.
Sorry, hold on.
I'm not.
You were in the gym, which is obviously like your gym because you're so cool. And then someone walked in front of your camera where you were filming, which is not what the gym's for.
Yeah.
And then you called her a fucking cunt.
No, because she looked at the camera and then started dancing in front of the camera.
Good.
Was it a good dance?
Yeah, what sort of dancing was she doing?
Was she naked? Did
I
you
don't
see
know,
a camel toe?
I was trying to pull 200 off the floor. I didn't quite check what move she was pulling out, whether she was giving it the whole
Have you got the video?
peck or
Were you still warming up?
yeah.
Is Jack trying to calm down?
Jack, you're an angry man.
You should never go on cycle, Jack. You go to prison. You go to prison.
That's one of the sort of reasons I don't. Like, if I could have a camera in my car, like berserk, mental. Berserk.
I think that you should take a leaf out of Marc Hector's book. Just calm, get massive.
I reckon he smokes the spliffs, like. That's why he's so chilled.
I actually doubt that, to be
You
honest.
make it laugh all the time.
Yeah, I just think he seems like doesn't give a fuck about what anyone else is doing, which is the best way to fucking be.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
really.
actually a little bit jealous of his mentality, to be honest.
Yeah, I wish I had that.
Like water. I mean, obviously, I didn't give a fuck either, but in a totally different way. He doesn't give a fuck in a way of like water, whereas I'm like napalm on all of them. All of them. Burn them all with fire until they go away.